right then. Nobody in the jungle thought he mattered. The fox had stopped caring about that long ago. He wasn't born weak, but hunger and waiting had shaped him into something quieter, lighter, easier to ignore. In a place where noise meant safety, silence became his shelter. What he didn't understand yet was that silence didn't just protect you, it changed you. Slowly, permanently. The jungle believed in power the way others believed in weather. Unquestioned, inevitable. The lions controlled the river, the only water left during the dry season. Hyenas guarded the paths, enforcing rules they didn't write but enjoyed. Smaller animals survived by shrinking themselves. The fox lived beyond even that, in abandoned ground where mistakes were punished quickly. At first, patience felt less like wisdom and more like surrender. There were nights he lay awake in a broken den, listening to roars echo through the dark, asking himself whether waiting was just fear wearing a clever mask. Every morning followed the same rhythm. Lions drank first. Always the same order. The same guards, the same careless confidence. The fox noticed details no one else needed to. How weight loosened stones near the cliffs, how roots cracked under repeated pressure, how hyenas drifted from their posts when boredom set in. He didn't think about control, not yet. He only wondered why power made everyone so predictable. The first change was an accident. A branch snapped under a lion's weight, sending stones sliding into the river. No injury, no drama, but the reaction stayed with him. The sudden shouting, the confusion, the fear that followed something so small. That night, during a storm, loud enough to hide sound, he returned. He moved one stone. Just one. His heart raced as he did it. This wasn't watching anymore. It was choosing, and doubt hit him immediately. What if I'm wrong? What if patience isn't enough? Days passed. The jungle remained loud, unaware. The fox didn't feel calm, he felt exposed. Hunger sharpened his thoughts. He watched a small herd struggle to reach water when a familiar path became unsafe, and guilt settled heavily in his chest. This wasn't what he'd imagined. He told himself the jungle had chosen this system long before he touched it. Still, the doubt stayed. Once things start shifting, they don't ask who deserves the damage. When the meat disappeared, chaos followed instantly. The fox hadn't taken it. He'd only redirected access, weakened their route, let hunger do the rest. Accusations exploded. Hyenas turned on each other. Lions roared louder than ever, but it sounded thin, almost desperate. The fox watched from an abandoned den and felt something close to fear, not of being caught, but of how quickly power collapsed inward once it was tested. The real break came the next day. Two lions argued near the cliffs, both trying to prove certainty in a jungle that no longer felt solid. The weakened ground gave way. Stones thundered down. One lion escaped, the other didn't. There was no final roar, no fight, just absence where authority had stood moments before. The jungle froze. Even the river seemed quieter. This wasn't a scare. This couldn't be undone. That night, the fox broke. He replayed the moment again and again, knowing he hadn't pushed the lion, and knowing that didn't matter. He pressed his forehead into the dirt of his den, breathing shallow, finally admitting what he hadn't allowed himself to think before. I can't undo this. Patience hadn't protected him from responsibility. It had delivered him straight into it. For the first time, he wished he'd been weaker, wished he'd stayed invisible. But the jungle doesn't return things once it takes them. Morning brought a different kind of noise. Not roars, whispers. A lion cub sat by the river bank where the path had collapsed, staring at the water, refusing to drink. Older animals avoided the spot entirely. Some acted as if nothing had changed, moving louder, faster, pretending strength could cover absence. Others moved carefully, ashamed, as if the jungle itself were watching them back. No one said the fox's name, but everyone felt it. Loss has a way of spreading blame without words. The days that followed felt fractured, territories blurred, old paths were abandoned, storms flooded low ground, forcing animals into unfamiliar spaces. Hyenas betrayed each other for protection. Smaller animals slipped into the dry land beyond the jungle, choosing risk over certainty. The fox realized something unsettling. The jungle no longer needed him. Fear had taken over, and fear didn't require intelligence. It moved on its own. When they finally found him at the river cliffs, it wasn't because he wanted to be seen. It was because there was nowhere left to hide. The lions approached carefully, no roaring this time. They spoke of balance, of shared control, of fixing what had broken. The fox listened, and for a moment, his resolve faltered. He looked past them, at the broken land, the unstable paths, the river that still flowed, despite everything. He thought of the cub by the water. He almost said yes. Instead, he stepped aside. He didn't claim the jungle, didn't threaten it. He let them see it. The silence that followed wasn't victory. It was recognition. They had mistaken silence for weakness. Now they understood what it cost. The fox didn't stay. He left before forgiveness or blame could find him. The jungle went on, altered, cautious, less certain. Some animals adapted, some carried regret quietly. Beyond the trees, the fox crossed into dry land, carrying something heavier than hunger. Not triumph, not pride, just the knowledge that waiting changes things, including you, and maybe that's enough.